All right, let's jump right in. What if I told you that you could completely transform your financial life in just 6 months? And no, you don't need a winning lottery ticket or a six-figure salary to do it. In this explainer, we're going to lay out a super clear, month-by-month blueprint that takes you from, that constant financial stress to a place of real financial control.
And that's really the core idea here. So many people think financial security is about having this massive paycheck, but it's not. It's about having a smart plan. It's about making your money work for you, and that's exactly the map we're going to draw out today.
So here it is, our 6-month journey. We start by just facing the numbers, getting clear. Then we build our defenses, right? Saving and tackling debt. And from there, we switch to offense, investing, growing our income. And finally, the best part, locking in all that success by putting the whole system on autopilot. It's a really powerful shift from defense to offense.
Okay, month one. Now this is arguably the most important step of the whole thing. Why? Because it's all about getting over this huge psychological hurdle, the fear of actually looking at your own finances. We have to confront something called the ostrich effect.
Have you ever put off checking your bank account after a big weekend? Yeah, that's the ostrich effect right there. Our brains trick us into thinking that, hey, if we don't see the problem, it doesn't really exist. But the crazy thing is, avoiding it just builds more stress and lets these little money issues snowball into big ones. So this month, we're ripping off that Band-Aid.
So to get that clarity, we need to find our core 4 numbers. It's simple. First, what's your actual take-home pay after taxes and all that? Second, what are your must-pay expenses? Rent, bills, food, you know the drill. Third, what are you already putting aside for a future you? And finally, what's actually left over for fun? And look, this isn't about judging your spending. It's about gaining the power that comes from just knowing.
Now that we know where we stand, we can get into months 2 and 3. This part is all about building a financial shield. Think of it like a safety net that protects you when life throws those inevitable curveballs, and it gives you the confidence to start making bigger moves. The goal for month 2 is actually pretty simple. Save 1 month's worth of your fundamental expenses. Now, I know that might feel like a sacrifice, but here's a really powerful way to think about it. You're not depriving yourself of stuff today, you're buying yourself freedom from that paycheck-to-paycheck stress tomorrow. Honestly, this one step alone puts you so far ahead of the game.
Okay, heading into month 3, we've got to get strategic about debt. Because, not all debt is created equal. On one side, you've got bad debt, like high-interest credit cards, that are literally just draining your wealth. But on the other, you can have good debt, like a mortgage to buy an asset that can be an investment. Knowing the difference is absolutely key to our plan of attack.
So here's the plan. First, you list out all your debts by interest rate, highest to lowest. Then you attack anything over 8% with everything you've got. Once that high-interest debt is gone, poof, you pivot. You take all that same energy and you shift it into building a real emergency fund. We're talking 3 to 6 months of expenses. And you'll want to keep that somewhere safe and easy to get to, like a high-yield savings account.
And this brings us to month 4. This is the big turning point. We've built up our defenses, we're feeling secure, and now it is time to go on offense. This is where we shift from just protecting ourselves to actively building long-term wealth. That's exciting stuff.
Your very first move in the investing world? It's the easiest and most powerful one there is. If your job offers to match your retirement contributions, you take it. You take all of it. Every single time. Not doing this is, well, it's like turning down a 100% return on your money. It's literally leaving free cash on the table.
And please, don't think investing has to be complicated. You do not need to be some stock-picking genius. The simple, proven path is to use a tax-advantaged account like an ISA or a Roth IRA and just buy broad market index funds. This way, you basically own a tiny piece of hundreds of the biggest companies out there. You spread your risk, and you just let the market do all the heavy lifting for you.
And why is this so powerful? Well, just look at the long-term potential. For the last 2 decades, the S&P 500, which is just a collection of the 500 biggest U.S. companies, has averaged a 10.5% return every single year. That's the magic of compound growth right there.
This really puts it all into perspective, doesn't it? Your high-yield savings account, that's for safety. That's your emergency fund. But for real long-term growth that actually beats inflation, investing has historically been the most effective tool we've got. It's not even close. And hey, remember, you don't have to slam the brakes on one thing to do the other. You can totally build your emergency fund and invest at the same time. Maybe you start by putting 70% towards savings and 30% to investing. Then you shift to 50-50. And eventually, once that safety net is full, you can go all in on investing. The key is to just keep moving forward on both fronts. All right, we're on the home stretch, months 5 and 6. We've built the foundation, and now it's time to hit the accelerator, and most importantly, make all this progress permanent and totally effortless.
So, in month 5, we flip the script and focus on the other side of the coin, income. I mean, the fastest way to hit your goals is to add more fuel to the fire, right? So, ask for that raise, look for a better paying job, start a side hustle. Seriously, even an extra couple $100 a month can supercharge your entire journey.
And this brings us to the final and maybe most crucial step in month 6. To get why automation is so important, you have to understand something called decision fatigue. Think about it. Every choice you make all day long just wears down your willpower. So by the time evening rolls around, your brain just wants the easy way out, which means ordering takeout, skipping the gym, and forgetting to transfer that money to savings. Automation is our secret weapon against that.
This is where we build a system that just runs itself. First, automate all your bills so you're never late. Then, schedule automatic transfers to your savings and investment accounts for the day you get paid. This is what pay yourself first actually means. And then, whatever's left in your main account, that's yours to spend, totally guilt-free. Budgeting just becomes this effortless background noise.
And of course, just remember, this isn't a set it and forget it forever kind of deal. Life happens, your income will grow, your goals will change, so just check in with your plan every now and then. Make sure your automations still line up with what you want. See if you can bump up your savings rate. Just stay engaged.
And that's really the secret to all of this. Real, lasting financial success isn't about having perfect, ironclad discipline every single day. It's about building a smart, automated system that makes the good financial decision the default option. A system that works for you even when you're tired, busy, or just not thinking about it. So the only question left is, are you ready to build yours?